Why not partner with someone that shares the same vision as you, and then you can just both run along with it? Am I making sense, guys? Great. So, Lekon, I'm going to let you start with answering the questions, because now we have to take you to the audience, and we can only take 2 questions. So please let your question be very, very short and straight to the point. So 2 people with 2 very important questions. Okay, can you step forward, please? 1 more person. All right, thank you. Please just say your name then.
My name is Patrick Igwe, Political Science, Covenant University. Okay, basically, I got the gist of everything. So what I'm trying to, the question I'm actually trying to put forward, you are trying to start up a pricing or a discount store, and actually you are trying to get investors. You know, basically, Nigeria has a system whereby the pricing of various goods are different. There's no cohesion in the pricing. So the idea, the business idea actually is to get all manufacturers to come under a particular store where there is unison in pricing, and also being able to bring down the prices for people that are medium scale or middle income earners and low income earners. So if you're trying to get an investor to get if you're trying to get an investor to partner up with this, what kind of strategy or what kind of how do you convince someone like that to get into that kind of business?
Do you understand the question? Oh, okay, great.
So I'll just quickly I'll just give you some jabs. Quick one, right? A couple of questions you need to ask yourself. Number 1, what problem are you trying to solve, right? I think you've clearly mentioned that. The second one is, where is the money, right? Where are you going to make the money? Number 3 is, where has this been done before? Maybe not exactly the way you want to do it, but something that you can say, okay, based on the learnings of what XYZ has done, I'm trying to readapt mine. For example, Facebook is not the first social network. We had i5, we had Friendster, we had MySpace. So Facebook is, for lack of a better word, an adaptation of all these social networks. So you need to be able to answer that question. Then you need to, while analyzing your strategy, I'm not going to give you like this strategy or that strategy because I'm not going to be helping you, right? While analyzing that strategy, you need to wear the cap of the person you're trying to talk to. So you're talking to the VC guy. The question the VC guy is going to be asking is, where is the money? Is it scalable? What problem are you trying to solve? What is the barrier to entry? And all those things, right? So a little bit of research, wearing the caps of the problem you're trying to solve and the person you're trying to talk to, and doing research around it will help you a long way in answering, a lot of the questions that you have.
Thank you. I can only let one other person answer.
Okay, because I'm not that was fantastic.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say that you learn a lot by doing. So if you can take that problem you want to solve and solve it for a smaller subset, say, Gary, how do you get all Gary sellers to unify under your platform? How do you transfer that value to the customer? And then say, okay, what are the problems here? Is there even really a market? And then build your strategy that way from the ground up, rather than trying to say, okay, here's how I'm going to change the world, and I'm going to raise money and then change the world.
I think that's brilliant. So don't start to brand, to be, just start small, pick the subset, and then pick up from there. Your name?
My name is Adenike Adebayo, I'm a civil engineer graduate. My question is straightforward. It comes from what we said earlier, copy. You have something that you like, because you learn a lot that there's no really new, there are a lot of new ideas. What you want to do, you wake up one morning and you find out that someone has been doing it for like 6 years, but you actually love it. So my question is simple: how do you approach someone that you want to just ask the person? Like, how do you get to learn from someone without actually working for someone who has that business? If it's a big business, how do you learn from what the person has done before?
Okay, so what you said, so I think you ended up by saying without working with the person. I think that's one of the best ways to do that. So you have to shadow the person. Because I can imagine if it's a successful business, the person will not necessarily have enough time to take out of his business level, sit down here and then start training you with no gain or whatsoever. So I guess the only way, from my, one of the only ways I can see that essentially working is applying for an internship role, I guess, within that particular organization. Whether it's for free or for very, very little pay. I know I'm going to stress as much as possible. If I had time, I'll keep on saying it as many times as possible. You should not be scared of working with little remuneration, especially if you want to get skilled and get better at that particular craft. You should not be scared of working for free. I've done it for a while. I worked for ages to the point where it got to a point where I could literally walk to a customer and just, you could see from my eyes, like, if you don't pay me this amount, I'm not doing this. And I'm like, okay, this guy is very confident in what he's doing. So, but that only comes from working at it long enough, hard enough to the point where you can do it in your sleep. You wake up, then that sells itself. I'm a terrible salesperson, but I'm a very hard worker. So I work to the point where whatever it is I'm doing, like, speaks. So that's definitely the thing. I'd say work with this guy. So even if he says, okay, I don't have any money to pay you, okay, can I enter with you for 3 months? If it's something that I guess he does publications about, if there's enough stuff online where you can do enough research about what it is that he's doing, then I suggest you also do that. But a lot of the times, if I had a business, I wouldn't necessarily put my A to Z on how I got there online for people to copy and replicate and become my competitor. No, I'd rather you come work for free or work for a very little remuneration, and I'll give you all the training that it is that's necessary.
Yeah, I mean, so I think this is something that I've used a lot in the past and it's very helpful. When you're reaching out to people who are successful, they're busy, right? So you need to be very targeted. Have a short email, if anything, have a template, a few templates that you use. Here's what I do, here's what I want, and please can you give me 20 minutes of your time? Can you give me 10 minutes of your time? People will know what to do with a request like that. But when you go on an epistle about your life and how you, nobody has time for that. So my point is, when you're reaching out to people to learn, know what it is you want specifically, be mindful of their time, and send a very specific targeted email. You're not always going to get a positive response, but the chances of getting people to engage with you goes a lot higher when you approach it in a very meaningful, a very purposeful manner.
Lekon, do you want to add something?
Yes. So, number one, don't be scared that, when you ask people questions, they probably wouldn't answer you. Yes, you might send an email to a very successful person, and the person might not answer you. Yeah, it could be because of the way you wrote, the email or the SMS or whatever it is, or it could be the fact that, the person just doesn't have the time. I remember even, this is recently, sent an email to somebody, and for 2 months, the person did not respond. And personally, I felt, okay, maybe the guy just felt like, and one day I was just about to, I was on the plane just about to take off, and the email just came in like, oh, Lekon, I'm so sorry, this dropped off of my radar. Can I still answer this question? And I was like, oh, really? So if you have questions, and it's the same thing as selling too. Just what? Just ask. Just open your mouth. Of course, don't open your mouth and say rubbish, right? But just open your mouth and just ask that question. A very good place where I believe that you can get access to information and knowledge so easily, and you can reach out to anybody, is Twitter. Twitter, they say, is the place that connects people with the same ideas, right? People connect based on ideas and interests. Unlike, let's say, like a Facebook or Instagram, as it were. So on Twitter, you can follow anybody, you can tweet at anybody, you can ask a question, and the chance that, especially if the person is very, very engaging on Twitter, the chance that you get a response is pretty high, right? So if you have any question, if you believe that you want to ask Dangote, if you believe that you want to ask the Senate President, people do it a lot. I follow the Senate President, you tweet a question at him, and he responds. right? And of course, be very mindful of the kind of question you ask and how you ask it, so that you don't, shoot yourself in the foot.
Oh, awesome. Can we have a round of applause for our panelists? Those are the questions we can take right now. Thank you so very much for coming. Can they walk up to you and ask more questions while you're still around? Is that... Okay, Zubby has to go, but Ladipo and Leko may still be around and you can ask them more questions. Thank you guys very much. Oh, sorry, Zubby has.
So Sally, since I'm not going to be around for much longer, please feel free to go on our social media handles. So that's RDM Africa. So RDM Africa on Instagram, RDM Africa on Twitter, RDM Africa on LinkedIn. I need to rush back to the office and write this guy's proposal. Try and get some money from Jobberman. But yeah, hopefully I'll hear from you guys very, very soon. Take it.
A round of applause, please. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Master. Can you give a round of applause to the panelists? I know you're all tired. It's been a long day. Well, are you having fun? No? Did you say no? Why? Don't worry, this is the last session and we're done for the day. Okay?
I promise it's going to be an exciting one. It's talking about creativity and passion and how to find a job that actually suits your passions and your talents. So let's welcome the moderator, Mr. Sheon Apolaji, the CEO of Wilson's Juice.
Can you give him a round of applause as he comes to the stage? With him is Gossi, the founder, Benny American University.
Let's also welcome Tom Tunde Andrews, HR of CC Hub. Let's give a round of applause, you guys.
Okay, before this session, there's a short announcement from Damilola from Shuttles. Damilola, are you anywhere close by?
Hello everyone, my name is Damilola, founder of Shuttles. I'll briefly explain what Shuttles is doing in Lagos. So we created a platform that enables professionals like yourself shuttle around Lagos in groups to remove traffic and to help them get to their destination, their workplace, in the safest manner and efficient way. So with our platform, you can book a seat, you can pay online and track arrival and departure times of your shuttles. So we partnered with Stutern for this fair to get here from Bergen, Maryland and Aja to this venue. So if you join us this evening, you stand a chance of getting a free ride tomorrow. If you see anybody with this tag, get to be on the WhatsApp channel so they can get a free ride tomorrow. So thank you. See ya.
Creativity is very important because once you leave this school environment, you'll quickly realize that no one cares. No one cares about you but you. So if you're not going to be creative, to do something different, or to do something, even if you're working in a job, to be creative in there, you'll just realize that no one cares. So I really want you to think that you should care about yourself, care about your future, and know that if you're not careful, you will think someone will be there, but it will be just you. So listen on this creativity conversation, because that is what is needed to go to the next step. So right now, I want each one of you to introduce yourselves, what you do, very short.
Hello everyone. Okay, my name is Tom Tunde Andrews. I am the Director of People for Co-Creation Hubs, CC Hubs, some of you may know us. What I do, pretty much in 3 words, is find, grow, keep. We find the right talent, we grow and develop the right talent, and we try our best to keep and hang on to the right talent. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, good evening. Okay, my name is Gossi Okawoke. I'm a higher education investor, and simply put, we find great universities, we invest in them, we build a couple of them as well around the continent. Okay.
Right. So to begin with, we want to know about your creativity journey. What you've done in the journey to creativity and what you've done within your business
in a creative way?
Okay, so I'm going to give a little background on myself. So a lot of people think, oh, creativity is what you can do, but you can change. I think the question initially had been, what is creativity and how do you do it? So I studied economics in university, but along the line, one thing I've always done is write. So even in that industry, I was writing, I was studying, I was reading a lot. So I think before I start, and I would say things I'm passionate about reading, passionate about writing. So in every aspect of my life, I've done those two things. I moved pretty much I started running my own business, which was in event management. Even in event management, I was writing. So I would write blogs on what my events were, so people knew what to expect, what should the next bride do, what sorts of things should you look out for. And then I decided to go back into workplace. Human resources was the next thing for me. One, because along the line again, I discovered something else that I was passionate about. So I'm using writing as a medium of expressing myself, be it on Twitter, be it on Medium. How many of you know of Medium? How many of you write on Medium? You know of it, but how many people write on Medium? Anyone? Okay, I can see one hand. So I write on Medium, I write on different avenues, different platforms, but that's my journey to creativity. So the one thing I want to let people know is that creativity is not static. At different points, you find out different things that you're passionate about. I want you to discover them, find out ways to cultivate those interests. Okay?
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I think ours is a bit different. For me, creativity is around doing the same thing. Yeah. So creativity is around doing the same thing. So a couple of years ago, maybe I'll even start with a question. How many people took JAMB twice here? Or more? And how many people actually got good scores the first time but couldn't get in and had to take the JAMB again? Yeah, so it was a problem that we saw, and we felt that we were going to find a way to solve it. So you take the JAMB, you get a good score, you can't get in because there are simply no spaces. So creativity for us was really around finding the best way to educate as many people as possible. So it started off with trying to build our first institution, but that institution has a capacity limit, and how can we reach the million students in 2025? That led us into investing in other universities. And earlier this year, we started another company that focuses on helping existing universities go online. Because again, we realize that technology is a new frontier, online is a new frontier. So how can we help traditional universities go online? So right now we have two traditional universities. We have Emordi University, we have OAU, and we have tens of thousands of students who are currently learning online from those two universities. So it's around journey through education, but looking at it from different facets. So on one hand, creating our own institution, seeing that wasn't enough, modifying a little bit into investing in the existing private institutions, and then again, now we're helping public universities go online and reach as many students as possible. Yeah.
Wow, that's very interesting. We have one more guest that's coming up right now.
Let's have the ushers bring one more chair up to the podium as we invite Mary Jane Etiti from Chocolate City to the podium to talk more on creativity and passion. Give her a round of applause, you guys. I know you're tired, but let's liven it up. Thank you.
Hello, welcome. Please take a second to introduce yourself, where you're coming from.
I just first want to apologize for the tardiness. I kind of lost my way. My name is Mary Jane Etiti. I work with Chocolate City Group, and I'm the Chief People Officer.
So our first question was revolving around creativity. So people want to know your journey to creativity. How did you get there?
Oh wow. I haven't always been in the creative space. Chocolate City Group is a music and entertainment company. We're also an ideation company. But I mean, I didn't start off in the creative space. I started off in the educational sector. And for a while, I realized that, I had no motivation, I had no drive, and I was doing this for a while. So I left and joined Chocolate City Group. Lucky for me, I joined as an intern. And, you know, I was lucky to have been in an organization that allows for learning and does not judge when you fail. You know, it's also important that you surround yourself with people that, you know, see the value in what you bring. So I had no idea up until that point what exactly it is I was passionate about. And then one day the president of Chocolate City Group called me and said, hey, I think you're very good at managing people. We're going to make you chief people officer, and we know that you can do it. I was like, wow, this is a very big shoes to fill. But after a while on the job, I kept developing and building that space. And I realized that, hey, I really do love managing people. And I think I'm very good at this. So that was my journey to creativity, basically.
Okay,
yeah,
I'm sure there's some people out there that say, hey, I don't even know what my passion is. Can I see some hands? I don't even know what I'm passionate about.
Hey.
Everyone knows what they're passionate about, thank God.
Some people.
Yeah, okay, some hands are up.
Hey, shout out.
So what would you suggest for people that don't even know what they're passionate about? They're going to class, maybe for their parents. There's a lot of people that are going to school right now for mom and dad.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're passionate about. What is the advice? Because a couple of you spoke about not knowing your passion, but finding yourself in your passion.
Oh, great. I would say first, do your research. You have to research. You have to know what, because you can go round and round wasting your time doing something, and you realize, hey, I've been wasting so much time doing this when I could have been doing this, and you know, I really like doing you know, this other stuff, and research helps you with that. So you have to do your research. You have to build on your skill, on yourself. When you do realize what it is you're passionate about, you have to build on it. And you have to be your number one cheerleader. You have to believe in yourself. If not, how would we believe in you, right?
Okay. Anybody else have anything to add to that?
Okay, so just to add to that, so I think when I was trying to figure out what was best for me, there are different apps that you can get online to learn about your personality, and then you are. So you can go online, check out what your personality is, and then just enter in a few things about the things that you like doing. They'll ask you a number of questions, and then when you